Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. So today we're looking at a story that is, well, incredibly short, but it packs a surprising philosophical punch. We're going to deconstruct a classic tale called The Blind Man's Lantern. Together, we'll break down a deeply fascinating paradox that sits right at the heart of this source text. It's one of those stories that basically forces us to look in the mirror and ask some pretty hard questions about how we perceive the world, and honestly, how we perceive other people. Let's unpack this whole thing step by step. Here's the big question. Why would a blind man carry a lighted lamp? I mean, it totally defies logic, right? It almost feels like a riddle. If you literally cannot see the light and the light can't help you navigate the physical world, what possible utility could it have? It's a complete contradiction. Okay, let's dive into this and uncover exactly how the source text unravels this mystery. Section 1. The paradoxical lamp. The text establishes a super simple, grounded setting. We've got a small town. And living in this town by himself is a solitary man who cannot see. He's completely blind. I really want you to hold on to this visual in your mind. Imagine a man navigating a small, quiet town, living entirely in darkness. The text gives us just the bare facts to start off with, stripping away any distractions so we can focus entirely on him and his environment. And then the text drops this completely bizarre contrast on us. It says whenever this blind man went out at night, he carried a lighted lamp with him. Just imagine how striking that visual actually is. Here is someone enveloped in perpetual darkness, yet he's holding a beacon of light in his hand as he walks through the night. To an outside observer, this makes absolutely zero sense. It almost looks absurd. And that perceived absurdity, well, that's exactly what triggers the conflict in our story. Section 2, The Traveler's Judgment. So let's walk chronologically through the specific events of this fateful night, just as they're laid out in the text. In the evening, the blind man is out having dinner. Then, as nightfall hits, he begins his journey coming home in the dark. And it's during this late-night trek that his path intersects with a group of young travelers. This timeline is actually crucial because the darkness of the night is the exact reason the lamp is lit, setting the stage perfectly for this encounter. As soon as the travelers cross paths with him, they notice his blindness. But of course, they also notice the lamp. And their immediate reaction wasn't to, ask polite questions. Instead, they passed comments. They made fun of him. They looked at a totally surface-level contradiction and immediately jumped to the conclusion that he was foolish. They just assumed they had all the information they needed just by glancing at him. The text actually gives us the exact mocking challenge from one of the travelers. Hey man, you're blind and can't see anything. Why do you carry the lamp then? You can literally hear the arrogance in it, can't you? It's completely dismissive. And I really want you to reflect for a second here. How many times have we been these travelers? How often do we look at someone else's actions, fail to understand them immediately, and rush to judge them as ridiculous without even asking for the context? Section 3, The Unexpected Reason. So the travelers have thrown their mockery at him. They're just standing there, waiting for a punchline. And the text simply says, the blind man replied, just think about the silence in that exact moment right before he speaks. He doesn't get angry. He doesn't yell at them. He simply offers them the truth. And here is that truth. He says, yes, unfortunately, I am blind, and I can't see anything but a lighted lamp which I am carrying is for the people like you who can see. You may not see the blind man coming and end up pushing me. That is why I carry a lighted lamp. Guys, this is such a profound shift in perspective. The lamp was never about his ability to see the world. It was entirely about the world's ability to see him. He isn't carrying it for his own vision. He's carrying it for their protection, and really for his own self-preservation against the clumsiness of those who just take their sight for granted. Now, what's really interesting about the slide is his specific phrasing, for the people like you who can see. He is accommodating their capabilities, not his own deficits. He recognizes that people with sight are often distracted, rushing, or just careless in the dark. His intention is entirely selfless and honestly brilliantly practical. He's literally compensating for the blind spots of people who have perfect vision. Section 4, The True Moral. Notice the dramatic shift in their behavior here. Initially, they are passing comments and making fun, but the very moment they hear his explanation, they feel ashamed and apologize. I think this beautifully illustrates how acquiring the full context of a situation instantly changes our emotional stance. The moment they understood his reality, their mockery just evaporated and was immediately replaced by shame. Because at the end of the day, information cures ignorance. This source text explicitly provides us with the moral directives drawn from this encounter, so the crucial point is really captured in these 3 takeaways. Number 1, think before judging others. We literally never have the full picture just by looking. Number 2, always be polite. If the travelers had just politely asked about the lamp instead of mocking him, they would have completely saved themselves the shame. And number 3, learn to see things from others' points of view. This right here is the absolute core of empathy, stepping outside your own reality to understand someone else's. And this brilliantly illustrates the absolute deepest layer of the text, the physical blindness of the man versus the true blindness of the judging travelers. The man lacked literal sight, for sure, but he had incredible foresight and empathy. The travelers, on the other hand, had perfect vision, but they were entirely blind to the reality of another human being. Their ignorance was the true darkness in this story, not the night sky. Which brings us to our final thought. The text leaves us with an incredibly powerful lesson, but its value only really matters if we actually apply it. Where are you failing to see things from another's point of view in your own life? Who is out there carrying a lamp that you are currently mocking or judging simply because you don't understand their journey in the dark? Think about that today. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and remember, keep seeking to understand before you judge.